Skyrim doesn't just invite you to play, it invites you to belong to another world. Before launch, the game's packaging and promotional materials establish a mythic tone. Its logo, a stark dragon emblem on a black background, evokes a feeling of ancient power and mystery, fitting for the game's atmosphere and vibe. The Steam page promises freedom, exploration, and consequence, all hallmarks of open-world RPGs. These cues prepare players to expect a sandbox of moral ambiguity, epic quests, and personal storytelling. Skyrim's genre conventions, dragons, magic, civil war, signal a familiar fantasy framework, but its promise lies in how you shape that world. Storytelling unfolds not just through dialogue or scripted quests, but through the act of play itself. The narrative breathes through its mechanics, the freedom to roam, to choose to act without a guiding hand. Every decision from joining a guild to sparring a stranger shapes a personal mythology that feels uniquely yours. The game's open-world design turns exploration into a narrative expression. Climbing a distant mountain or stumbling upon a ruined fortress isn't just world-building, it's storytelling through discovery. The game's opening sequence is a textbook example of liminal transition. You begin as a prisoner, voiceless, powerless, on a cart to execution. This moment of vulnerability is critical. It strips away identity, allowing you to reconstruct it through character creation.
Who are you?
The dragon attack at Helgen is the rupture that propels you into agency. It's not just a plot device, it's a symbolic rebirth. In that moment, Skyrim tears away the illusion of safety, shattering the rails of a predetermined story and throwing you quite literally into the chaos of its world. The execution sequence that opens the game feels controlled and cinematic. You're bound, voiceless, and powerless, watching history unfold from the sidelines. But the dragon's arrival disrupts that stillness. It's the moment when the narrative hands you the reins. Skyrim's aesthetic is rooted in Nordic realism and mythic grandeur. The visual palette, snowy peaks, moss-covered ruins, flickering torchlight evokes a sense of age and decay. The musical score blends ambient minimalism with sweeping orchestration, reinforcing emotional beats without overpowering them. The interface is deliberately sparse, allowing environmental storytelling to take precedence. These formal choices support a narrative of rediscovery. You're not just exploring a world, you're uncovering its forgotten truths. The game's sensory design is immersive but also ideological. It reflects a culture grappling with legacy, power, and survival. Skyrim's narrative is decentralized. While the main quest frames you as the Dragonborn, the game's true strength lies in its distributed storytelling. Factions like the Dark Brotherhood or the Stormcloaks offer competing ideologies, and your choices determine which stories are told. The player's perspective is both diegetic and extra-diegetic. You act within the world but also shape its structure. Interactivity isn't just mechanical, it's narrative. Dialogue choices, moral decisions, and even silence carry weight. Skyrim's branching paths aren't just multiple endings, they're multiple realities, each shaped by your engagement. Skyrim's emotional resonance is context-dependent. Played alone at night, the game becomes introspective and eerie. Every creak in a crypt feels personal. Played socially, it transformed into a shared myth-making exercise. The hardware matters too. Mods on PC can radically alter tone and pacing, while console play offers a more curated experience. Skyrim's design encourages emotional investment through environmental cues, such as reactive NPCs and emergent storytelling. Even its systems serve as narrative tools, allowing players to define their character's moral compass and legacy. The story isn't something you're told, it's something you live, written moment by moment through the choices you make and the paths you carve across its vast living landscape. Whether you flee with the Stormcloaks or the Imperials, your decision immediately defines your role in a conflict much larger than yourself. Skyrim uses this mechanical freedom to mirror thematic freedom. Choice becomes both survival and self-definition. The world reacts to you from that moment on. Its dangers are yours to face, its stories yours to uncover. In escaping Helgen, you're not just running from a dragon. You're awakening the role of the Dragonborn, reborn into a living world that is as responsive as it is unpredictable. Analyzing Skyrim through this framework reveals its layered complexity. It's a game that uses genre familiarity to invite exploration, then subverts expectations through player agency. Its aesthetic choices reinforce its themes, while its interactivity decentralizes authorship. In the end, Skyrim blurs the line between narrative and experience. It doesn't simply tell a story, it creates a space where stories are lived. Every mountain climbed, every shout echoed across a valley, every moral choice made contributes to a tapestry that is uniquely personal yet universally resonant. Its power lies not in its main quest, but in its capacity to make meaning through play, to let players find purpose in wandering, agency in uncertainty, and identity in a world that feels endlessly alive. Skyrim transforms the player from an audience into an author, turning an open-world exploration into myth-making. In doing so, it reminds us why games matter, because they allow us to step beyond observation and into embodiment, to not just play a story, but to become part of one.